Claire Sparrow at Chapel Pilates here. Welcome to Wring Out Your Spine. We're going to start off lying down on your mat or on your towel or even just on a carpet. Anything where you feel comfortable. If you feel like you need a little cushion under your head, you can use a folded towel or a small thin cushion from a sofa, something like that. Otherwise, you're just going to go ahead and lie down. So the first thing that we're going to do in our class today is take some deep breaths. Letting the breath travel in through the nose and out through the mouth. Allow the mat to support you as you're breathing. Each exhale lets you settle in and arrive ready for class a little bit more. And then bringing your arms up and then around your body, grabbing your shoulder blades or as near as you can. We're then going to rock from side to side, bringing your shoulder blade around your ribs as you do it. So you're teasing your shoulder blade off your ribs. So we know that the shoulders tend to get a little bit stiff or restricted if we work at a desk, we drive, we're under any stress, which we might be. Release your arms up, compare, and then cross them over the other way. And we do the same thing. So this is going to help to release some of that, that stickiness, that stress. And we're also aware of the head as we do this movement. Can you allow it to rock and roll with you? Rock and roll with you. And then bring it to the center. Release again. And feel how the shoulders and the ribs are much wider and spreading into the mat underneath you. And then bring your feet and your knees in together. Feel them married together. Still heavy in your pelvis. And then you're going to rock across from one side to the other. Allow your head to roll away in the opposite direction. Oh, what a good little click there. Sometimes you get those clicks and pops and releases through your spine, and that's absolutely fine. With the breathing here, you're going to breathe in as you roll and breathe out to melt back. Think about this being like spreading butter on hot toast. So you really melt into the surface underneath you. And then bring it gradually to center. Take your feet so they're hip socket width apart again. Just notice how it all feels in the back of the body. Great. Now we're going to do thoracic rotation. So I'm going to turn my back to you so you can see that rotation. I'm lying in the same way as I would be if I was on my back, with the feet under the pelvis, shoulders above the pelvis and head above the pelvis. I look straight forward. And then I get ready to roll. So I'm rotating around as far as I can and then spiraling back again. So I'm going to breathe in and then we're going to breathe out. And as I go across, I'm really focusing on rolling across the back of my shoulders I take my belly button with me and I look at my elbow. My legs are quiet, but I'm not stressing about that. I'm going to use that top leg. It's not lifting, it's staying roughly where it is, but we're sinking into it to create this spiral to return. Rolling across the back of the shoulders, enjoying that massage, and release. Take your gaze all the way to your elbow, and then with the top leg, let that bring you back into your spiral. One of the things that you do need to watch out for is that you're not actually sticking your belly button forward, that it is coming back with you and you're rotating. And then as you come forward again, that the spine is lengthening out. You're not curling up into the fetal position. One last time on this side. And back. Oh, I feel like that was my best one of them all. Sometimes that happens where you take more and more repetitions, and by the end you really feel like you're getting it. So your heels, again, they're underneath your bottom, just in the same way as they would be if you were lying on your back. And you make sure that everything's aligned. You're looking straight forward, not curled in, and we roll across. Heavy leg to bring you back over. We roll across, the belly button goes with you as you roll across, and the leg helps to bring you back. And you're focusing, like we did on the other side, on rolling across the back of the upper part of the spine and shoulders. And the legs help guide you back over again. So we roll across the back of the shoulders. And the legs bring you back with the exhale. And you'll notice that on that last one, I was really tucking my head in, so I'm going to just correct that. Make sure I'm looking straight forwards when I come back again. Look at the elbow, and then looking straight forward. So the front of the spine is lengthened out. Just two more. You can tell this is one of my favorites. I could languish in this one, and it's a great one that you could just drop down and do, and it be very useful at any point in the day because it does so many different things for your body. So it's a really, really great one. Then we're going to do some chest lifts, and we're going to do it with a bit of a difference. So often we do our regular chest lifts where we're mobilizing through the upper part of the spine in this direction. So with this fun one, we get to have a bit of a play with it. We're going to do around the world. So I will come up through the middle, but then I'm also going to go over to the side, to the back, over to the other side and up. I'm going to look at my elbow, look over at the other elbow, and around and up. So you just keep circling around, circling around, and before you know it, so I'm reversing it there. Before you know it, so I'm now doing a half one, yeah. Or you can continue around the top and keep going in one direction. And yeah, before you know it, your abdominal muscles might get a bit of a judder, and you're going to feel that effort. And because it's not just straight up and down, those of you that sometimes have a little bit of difficulty with the neck and the throat, you're going to find that a little bit easier. So you can see I'm playing and enjoying it. It's less of an exercise and more of an exploration. And then have a rest. It's a good one, isn't it? Okay, so then we're going to bring one hand down by your side, and we're going to do some rotations. So now the spine is nice and warm. We're going to come around. So the gaze here is really important. So I'm going to look around towards my hand as I reach my hand away and then come back up. I'm coming up and around and back down. So I'm sending this back shoulder, this back armpit up and around. I'm going to add into this. So I'm going to lift my leg up. So I'm coming around to my leg. Around to my leg. Now what I can also do is combine that. So I can lift the leg as I rotate. Lift the leg as I rotate. One last time. Lift as I rotate. So you could leave the foot down, or you could lift it and keep it lifted, or do as I did in the final version where you're lifting and lowering at the same time. That was warming. I'm stalling to have a rest. So we're going to do the other side. The first thing we have is the hand clasped and really supporting your head. And we do just that basic rotation. I'm sending this armpit around. I'm curling around. Curling around. Then I'm going to lift the leg and leave it there. And I bring myself around. I always think here it's like the ribs are coming around the sternum. A bit like the ribbons on a maypole. Coming around. This leg can be relaxed, or it can be more in a fixed tabletop. And then we had that final version where we were really coming around with the leg and with the arm. The pelvis is heavy and the leg is rolling in the hip socket. Coming around. Just go for it one more. You know you want to. It's so yummy. You're definitely going to feel like your spine is wrung out after all of these exercises. They're fantastic. So the next thing we're going to do is some crossed legs side to side. I'm going to turn this way so you can see me a little bit better. So the right leg is going to cross over, and you make sure the joints of your ankle just pass your thigh bone so you're not pushing on a joint. And we're just going to go very gently from side to side, just as we did before, but now we have the legs crossed over. If you've got any tension through the base of the pelvis, that's going to show up here. And then you can take the foot up. So this is where I really feel that stretch, and I'm looking for that. And I'm taking the head in the opposite direction. Some of the things that happen when the leg comes up is that you lose your ribs. So remember to settle into the ribs as you do that. The back of the shoulders are resting on the mat. And then we come back to center. Now, you're going to clasp your hands behind your head like we did a moment ago. So I've got my right knee up, crossed over. So it's my left hand that's on my head, or vice versa. It doesn't matter which side you do, as long as you're doing the opposite. So then the leg is still lifted unless you feel the load of that's a bit too much. So if you feel like your abdominals are doming or your back is straining, the best thing for you to do is bring your foot down so you can get the most out of the exercise. So in this position, I'm going to come around in that same way that I did before. So I'm rotating around. Now the things that might happen here is you might start curling in. Leave this heavy pelvis, heavy leg arrangement just as it is as you're doing that. Last one. Okay. And then from here, clasp both hands and then bring your lifted foot down on the bed, and you're going to roll over so that the right leg, so the leg that's crossed over, that foot is going to touch the floor like you're standing on it. So you're basically standing, just move over some on the bed, so you're standing on that foot. Now we're going to do our chest lift up through the middle. So I'm not going towards the legs, I'm just coming up through the middle, up through the middle. Oh, this is definitely wringing out my spine and wakening up all of my abdominal muscles, especially all of these sort of waist muscles coming through here. One last time. And down. Well done. Then we come to the center. I always like this bit where you uncross and I feel like I'm very twisted to one side. So then we come over to the other side. We cross the leg over. Remember the ankle, that the bony part has to just pass your thigh so you're not pushing on the joint. That's really important. And we settle in, ready to go over. And now it feels a little bit stiff as I go to the second side. So what I need to do is just go gently with it until I tease that out in the same way as we teased it out on the other side. So don't be surprised if it feels a bit more stiff. And also, generally we have one side that's a bit stiffer than the other, and I certainly noticed that when I was doing the side lying rotations. And then lift the foot up, I have the one side that comes really easily and the other side not so much. Okay, so here the back of the ribs and shoulders resting on the mat, head is rolling in opposition. It's a lovely stretch around the base of the pelvis into the hip at the back there. And then we go into the rotation with the chest lift. So the arm is long by your side and then you're coming up and over, just as we did before. And you can do that with the foot down, or you can keep the leg lifted. What I tend to find is that I can really use this crossed over leg. So I'm pushing it into the other leg as I'm coming up to create some stability for me around, excuse me, my pelvis. And then one more, enjoy it, and then back to the center. So the foot comes down, both hands come to the back of your head now. You roll over and just about off the bed, so make sure you've got space. So you roll over so that foot is planted down. The other foot can be relaxed or you can stand on it, whatever feels like you can do. And if you think, oh gosh, I can't even get to this position, put a pillow underneath your foot or a block or something, anything, whatever you've got. Have a child hold it or whatever you've got to hand to support your foot. And then we go into the chest lift. Oh, this is lovely. So we're coming up and around. So I'm coming around over the top of my sternum. And that is very juicy. The spine is going to feel amazing after all this. One last one. And then bringing it all back to center. Okay, now I feel a bit more balanced. Hopefully you feel a little bit more balanced as well. So we're going to do some mermaid. We're going to do mermaids with rotations because that's our theme, the wringing out of your spine. I'm going to do really simple mermaid with the legs crossed, but if you like your mermaid in your Z-sit, please by all means do the Z-sit. If you sit in the cross-leg position and it's very uncomfortable, very restricted in your hips, again, just sit on a block, a box, a pillow, whatever you have to hand that's going to help you to sit up with ease. If you're feeling like this, that's not a good position for starting. You need to start in a place of real ease. Okay, so we're going to reach the arms out and feel like you've got some lift through the underside of your arms. So you're not here and you're not here, but there's an energy out, spreading the shoulder blades. So I'm going to go up and over and I'm going to meet the floor behind me and push it away to create this stretch and opening, and then push a little bit more to restack, and then go over to the other side and push away. So I always think this is like seaweed when we do it this way, that we're getting that wafting kind of feeling like seaweed, and it's got that smoothness. So the body is seaweed, as well as the arms being like the seaweed, going from side to side. And we talk about slinkies too, don't we? The down the stairs of the slinky. It's the same thing, because we've got the rings of all the ribs, just like a slinky. So here it goes, down the stair and over to the next stair. That's it. So when we're over at the side, just come up a tiny little bit, so you're not feeling like you're in your maximum stretch, because we're going to stretch some more. And if you're already at your maximum stretch, then where are you going to go? Because there's nothing left. So it's really important to feel the stretch, come back a little bit, and then we're going to go into like a thread the needle, where you're threading the arm through, and then you're going to open up to the ceiling, like our thoracic rotations we did before, or book openings if you've done those before. Rotating around, always when you're rotating, you're coming around your sternum. So we've got that feeling. You might feel for you want to work a little bit more up here, or even up here, but where does it feel good? You can even go through all of those places. And then return to face the side, and then coming up, ready to go the other way. So again, you come up and over, and you're going into that maximum stretch, then slack off, ready to rotate. Ready to rotate. And we also have that opposition, so threading through, turning around your sternum, and then opening up like the thoracic rotations, where you're going opening back in the opposite direction. And again, we can do a few at the different levels. If you feel you need to twist through and it feels good, that's the main thing. Go where it feels good. If there's a gnarly bit and it doesn't feel good, don't go there. It's your workout, it's your class. You need to make it count for what you really need. Oh, that feels amazing. Oh, I feel very limber. So we're going to do a couple of things, a couple more things. We're actually going to lie on your front for baby looks. So for baby looks, this is a fantastic one for mobilizing through the shoulders, twisting backwards. So we're going to do that now. So we're going to put my mic beside me. All right, resting your head to one side and breathing. As you breathe out, lengthen and let the out breath carry your head to the other side. As you breathe out, the spine naturally lengthens and you turn your head to the other side. And we're going to keep doing that. Using the exhale, let it send the head away. It's going forwards and turning around. And then building up that movement gradually. So you're looking over your shoulder. But still the exhale carries you there. And now you're looking all the way over your shoulder towards your feet. And think about the intention that a baby would have, or even a lizard on the floor. They'd be trying to go somewhere, and they might be looking behind them to see if their legs are coming with them, or if there's somebody else joining them, whatever it might be. But there's a feeling that you're going to move forwards, even though you're not really, but you're lengthening. That's your intention. Shoulder blades are moving on the ribs like lathery, wet lathery bars of soap. And you're lengthening out of your lower back. So know that you're not back bending. You're back lengthening, spine lengthening. Last one. And then rest. Excellent. So hopefully that feels really nice too. Very stretched out through the space between your shoulder blades, and also the shoulder blades are very loose after that. So we're going to do thread the needle. This one's on all fours. If you have any issues with your wrists, bring yourself a chair in and just put your forearms on a chair so you don't have to weight bear through your wrists. So we're going to send one hand up and around. You're going to follow the hand. Keep following it with your gaze. Thread it through, looking at it. Same side. I want you to really juice out one side. So the hand reaches forwards, up behind you. Threads across past your knees and then up around like you're going to hug yourself again. Last one on this side, reaches up and around behind you, threads through, and then back down. Now I feel like this side is very long in comparison to the other side, so we're going to go ahead and match that up. Reach up, follow with your gaze. Take the gaze, take the gaze, take the gaze. And through. Follow. Push into the hand on the mat so that you've got stability and you're not sinking into that hand. Reach around, threading through. And if you feel dizzy, you just need to slow down. And also, if it doesn't help, if you still feel dizzy, so I'm slowing down now, you can actually do it, last time, alternating sides instead of repeating. That's it, on the same side. And then sit back with your bottom back to your heels. Take a child's pose. Enjoy that stretch, breathing into the back of your ribs, into the base of your pelvis, and enjoy that stretch. And then we've got one final, it's like the grand finale, the fun piece at the end. I know you're all already thinking or saying out loud, if she says it's fun, that means it's going to be really tough and not fun, but it is, you'll love it. So this is a variation on jackrabbit and reverse abdominals on the reformer. So we take the hands to one side. So I've got both hands over to the left, which means that my body is side bending. I'm then tucking my toes under, lifting my knees, and I'm going to go forwards and back. And it's like I'm going around the corner towards the left. Around the corner towards the left. One more time. And rest. Whew. Yes, that's definitely warming. We're going to do the same on the other side. So both hands are over to the right. The toes are tucked under. The knees are lifting just off the mat, and you sit your bottom back and forward, pushing through the feet, then pushing through the hands. Feet, hands. And I'm going around. And you might feel like I do. I haven't got quite the same amount of going around on this side versus the other side. So I have to really work on that and make sure I'm not doing it from the shoulder. I'm getting that side motion through the spine. We'll go with one more. And rest. Oh, wowzers. So not only are we getting that kind of integrated full body workout, we're also wakening up and stretching those thighs. So that was our class, Wring Out Your Spine, and I hope you really enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you at our next class.